Hi, and welcome to our next Level 2 Calculus video. In this video, we're going to turn our attention to how to find maximum and minimum turning points. Maximum and minimum turning points are points on the curve which have a zero gradient. A maximum occurs when the gradient changes from a positive gradient into a negative gradient. It's the maximum turning point. And a minimum occurs when the gradient changes from a negative gradient back into a positive gradient, and we say it's a minimum turning point. At both of these functions, maximum and minimums, y dash or dy dx or f dash x are all notations for the gradient rule. The gradient is equal to 0. All right, let's get into one of two examples. Example 1, find the turning point, which means there's only one, for the function y equal to x squared minus 3x plus 5. Right, let's differentiate the function and get the gradient rule. So x squared differentiates to 2x, minus 3x differentiates to minus 3, and plus 5 differentiates to 0, which I'm not going to write. So this is our gradient rule. Now, we just talked about maximum and minimum turning points have a 0 gradient. So we're going to take the gradient rule, 2x minus 3, and put it equal to 0. That's important. To find a maximum or a minimum, put the gradient rule equal to 0. Right, let's solve this problem by adding 3 to both sides and dividing 2 on both sides and get x is equal to 1.5. Now, we're going to take that value of 1.5 and we're going to substitute it back into the y rule, not the gradient rule, the y rule, to get y equal to 1.5 squared minus 3 times 1.5 plus 5, and that gives us a y value of 2.75. So let's have a look at what the picture looks like. The graph looks like this, and we've figured out that there is a turning point when x is 1.5 and y is 2.75. It happens to be a minimum turning point, but we didn't need to figure that out. We just needed to work out where is the turning point. Okay, let's move on to example 2. 2 from 2. Here we go. Find the turning points for the function y equal to x bracket x minus 2 bracket x plus 3. Oh, there's 3 brackets. Well, there's 2, but the x out the front really is a third bracket. So it's a cubic. Might have studied these and remember what they look like. There's more than one turning point, by the way. Right, first things first, let's expand out these 2 brackets to get x squared plus x minus 6. So practice your quadratic expansion if you need to. And then we're going to multiply everything through by the x out the front to get our x cubed plus x squared minus 6x, which means it is a cubic, which we knew already. Right, let's differentiate. So the x cubed, the 3 comes out the front and drops to a power of 2. Let's differentiate the x squared. That 2 comes out the front and drops to a power of 1. And the minus 6x differentiates to minus 6. So this is our gradient rule. Y dash is equal to 3x squared plus 2x minus 6. Right, what do we know about maximum and minimums? They have a gradient of 0. So we're going to put the gradient rule, 3x squared plus 2x minus 6 equal to 0. Find a maximum or a minimum. Now this is a quadratic equation, and you should have now studied your algebra and know how to solve quadratic equations, either by hand using the quadratic formula or use the graphics calculator to solve 2 solutions, x1 and x2. Right, we'll start with the first solution. When x is 1.12, let's substitute that back into the y function and work out the y coordinate, which is negative 4.06. And do the same when x is negative 1.79, substitute that back in to get y equal to 8.21. So here is a picture of our cubic, and we've figured out that there is a turning point at 1.12, comma, negative 4.06, and there's a turning point at negative 1.79, comma, 8.21. Great, thanks for watching.